I just love it when my camera starts all on its own before I'm even ready to start recording. Well, hi, I guess the camera told me that it's time. Hello, let's get started. These kind of videos is not my strong suit, but we're going to attempt to do this. I am not that great at putting on makeup while I'm speaking, but we're going to try and get through it. I haven't done a video like this in a while. I think the last time that I did one like this, it was when I was getting ready for my kid's birthday party in September. So it's been a minute. I am going to be filming 2 videos today, so we're going to do a get ready with me. And actually, this would be considered a third video, so I am seriously multitasking today. I'm not going to be telling you guys everything that I'm using. If you guys want to know what I'm using by any chance, then you can go ahead and ask me in the description or in the comment section, and I'll let you know what I use. But for the most part, I am just going to be talking to you guys while I put my makeup on. So the 2 videos that I'm currently working on right now, I have a Shein haul. I have been needing so badly some workout clothes, and while I was at it, I went ahead and bought like some sweatshirts. So I'm going to be doing a Shein haul. And then also I have been working on a video for the last month, and I can't wait to get that video out. It's the first kind of video that I've ever worked on that's completely different than what my content is usually consistent of. I'm still working on like what my niche is, which I don't really have one. I've just been a stay-at-home mom for the past 15 years, 16 years, and I love it, but my kids are growing up, so there is going to be a day where I'm going to need to find work. When I started my YouTube channel, I started off with baking, and I was doing that because I was literally trying to get my baking business off the ground. I had spent like 8 years self-training myself how to bake and make cakes and cookies and decorate and all that stuff, like custom made stuff. And I was doing really, really well. I had a small list of clients that would return to me, and they loved my work. But then the pandemic happened, and no one could really afford to pay for those things anymore. It got really expensive too. Inflation became a real thing. I had paid to get my LLC, and I was on my way to getting my cottage law license. But like I said, no one was willing to pay the price because it was just so expensive and so time consuming to make cake. You have no idea. It could take up to 3 days to like make one single cake, depending on what they want. And a lot of people want cakes that are like super elaborate, lots of detail, and they want it for a super cheap price. I mean, I even see people who create skits on TikTok of them doing people's nails, and they ask for $90 for a full set, and they almost want to skip out and not pay. And that's kind of like what it is for a baker as well. So I kind of stopped doing the baking thing, and it wasn't really doing well on my channel anyway. I wasn't doing them consistently, but I was doing them enough. I wasn't getting a lot of views on them. I kind of just like stepped back a little bit from baking, and I just went with the homemaking thing. And I ended up really loving the homemaking videos. It was easier. It didn't take a lot of brain work. All I had to do was just set my camera and make sure that I was in the camera, and all I had to do was just do what I normally do. When I would go to edit my videos, all I had to do was like a voiceover and whatnot. And I love doing them, and it was a thing for like the longest time, but then that started to slow down. Like once the pandemic ended, nobody really needed that motivation anymore because everyone went back to work. And when they got home from work, nobody had time to deep clean their house or organize or declutter, and even that started to take a hit on my channel. So like I'm lost. Like I still don't know what it is that I want to do on this channel anymore. I enjoy everything that I do on here. As a mom that can't really find work or can't work, I would really love to go to school. That's something that I'm gonna try and look into, but that costs money too. Unless you're spending money, I mean, that's like the era that we're living in right now. Every time you go onto someone's channel, all you're hearing from them is, this is my sponsor, and this person sponsored me, and why don't you try this product, and why don't you try this medication, and why don't you try this blah blah blah. Like nobody just goes on YouTube to just be themselves anymore. It always has to be an ad. And I can't do that. And I don't want to do that. Like, I've been offered to be a TikTok affiliate. It sounds like a dream come true. Like, who doesn't want to make money working from home, doing nothing but sitting around on social media all day making TikTok videos? Like, it sounds fun. But the problem with it is, like, all the stuff that they sell on TikTok is a bunch of crap. You know, like, maybe some of it is okay, but do we really need all of this stuff that we're, blowing our money on? I don't know. It just seems to me like it's not ethical, and it's not and it's not economic. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why we have to make everything an ad. And why does everything have to be AI generated? The way that things are turning out to be, it just seems like all the realism on YouTube is no longer there anymore. It's all commercialized. I've been doing YouTube for 4 years now, and I'm still not monetized. In the beginning, it was discouraging, because it was like, well, people just don't like me. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe my videos don't resonate with people. But we have billions of people that live in this world, and only like 80 people are clicking on your video. And then it got to the point where I was getting random people in my Instagram messages telling me, oh, it's because your thumbnail's not optimized. It's not, you're not using keywords. Your title's not up to par. Like, it's not that you're boring. Your videos are fantastic. It's just that your videos are not optimized. So here, let me send you this thumbnail that I made for you, and this is going to help your videos do better. Pay me for this service. It's like, this is where our life has come to now. Like, you can't even go onto YouTube to make an honest living without somebody selling you something. And I'm over it. So when I post a video, it's because that's what resonates with me. That's what's going on in my life right now, and I enjoy it. And I don't want to stick to just one thing, because none of us in our lives just stick to one thing. We all do different things in our lives, and this is what I do as a stay-home mom. And I'm not going to sit there and do only Shein hauls, or only cleaning and decluttering, and only baking. I don't live my life like that. I don't think anybody does. I don't think any of us live our life doing one thing. And so people would tell me, like, well, maybe you should open up a second channel. And I'm like, why? I have one life. Why would I have multiple channels? One life, one channel. Like, and now I'm starting to see that a lot of people who do have second channels are starting to go back to their original channel, and they're just putting whatever their second channel is about onto their original channel. And I'm like, this is what I've been talking about for like the longest time. Even the people that I watched when I first started YouTube, the ones that motivated me and inspired me to get my own channel, even they are not even making videos anymore. It's so sad, because the way that YouTube is changing, they're making it so complicated for people to be real. They're taking all of the realism out of it. Like I said earlier, they're like your thumbnails. They're not attractive to an audience. So what did I do? I reached out to a friend. He told me that, yeah, I could see why he would say that, because people want to see the more fashionable thumbnails before they click on your video. They want to make sure that when they click on your video, that it's going to be worthy enough to watch. Now that TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels have become where you can talk about a whole video in just less than 90 seconds, nobody wants to sit there and watch your videos anymore. And you could sit there for 20 minutes showing them in detail, and people would still ask you questions that you answered literally in that video, because no one has the attention span to actually sit there and watch. And this isn't about the money. Like, yes, I want to be monetized, but if this was about the money, I wouldn't be doing this for 4 years for free. I wouldn't stick around on YouTube for free. This has become a hobby. This has become a lifestyle for me. I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy all these changes. And I've been seeing a lot of people who do long form content that are saying, like, their managers are cracking down on them, saying that they must do short form content. And I just think that it's crap. So I tested the theory. Is my thumbnail not are my thumbnails not good enough? So I played around, and my friend, he introduced Canva to me. He introduced another one, I can't remember the name of it right now, but he introduced Canva to me. And so they do have free thumbnails on there, so I started doing that. And guess what happened? I didn't get any extra views by changing my thumbnails. I will say though that I had noticed, like, because during Vlogmas, I was testing the theory about like the titles. And so if I wasn't getting any reactions or any views from on that video, I would consistently change the title to see what keywords were better and what worked better and what clicked and got me more views. And I will say that that does make a big difference. It's all in the description or in the title. But you have to be like really creative, and that's something that I'm not. I'm not creative when it comes to titles. People are not going to click on it if it's the same old boring clean with me video, speed clean with me video. Like, no, everyone's seen those already. You know what I mean? The only videos that really captured a lot of views was my balloon popping videos. People would tell me, you should make more of those. Look at your views. Look at your, people are watching, they're liking these videos. You should make more. And I did enjoy making those videos. I really did. But it got to the point where I started questioning my integrity, and it got me questioning if what I was doing was the right thing to do. When I first started doing balloon popping, it was from a request from one of my viewers, and she asked in a very nice way. And so I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. And then I started doing it, and it still wasn't good enough. Like, people were like, no, not like that. You need to do it like this. So I'm like, okay. So I would switch it up. I would do something else. And it just became like a full-on production. And I just did my thing, and I was just myself, and I just did it. And it was fun. But then it became not fun anymore. Like, the comment section was degrading. The comment section was stressing me out so bad, because it got to the point where people were threatening me that if I didn't do the things that they wanted me to do, that they would take my channel away, or they would threaten me in general. And it got me worried, thinking, what are they going to do? Like, I had to take down my P.O. box, because I thought maybe if I had my P.O. box on there, people could send me balloons to help me pay for the expenses. And at one time I did get an offer, but then he never sent it, which is fine. I don't really care. But it got me thinking, like, if people are going to start threatening me, I have to take my P.O. box down. It made me feel so unsafe. And then the fetish things started coming in. They're like, we want to see you do it barefoot. We want to see you actually step on nails. We want to see you step on those thumbtacks. Like, they wanted to see me hurt myself. I created a post where you can choose A, B, or C, or D, and one of them was, do you enjoy watching people hurt themselves? Because at one time I did hurt myself. I bent my finger back really, really, really bad. 7% of the comments did say that they enjoy watching people hurt themselves. And other people enjoy watching the fetishes. It got me thinking too, like, is this right? Should I be letting my kids see me doing these things? I never watched other people create balloon popping content. I never really did. Except for one time I did do some research and I watched Spider-Man pop a bunch of water balloons. But other than that, I never really watched people pop balloons. Everything that I did on those videos was my own content. I never was inspired or motivated by others to do the balloon popping. Everything that I did was all my own creativity. And so I enjoyed it because I was going to pop them anyway. And I just, in general, just really loved creating balloon arches. I just loved seeing the colors, and I thought it was fun putting them together. And I figured, well, if people like watching balloon popping, maybe it's a sensory thing. Maybe people enjoyed watching balloon popping because they enjoyed the excitement of watching balloons pop. That's why I would do a lot of like slow-mo or replay things in my videos. I kind of just enjoyed doing it because it reminded me of my childhood. Believe me when I say I didn't have very many birthday parties, and I didn't really celebrate my birthday in general. So for me, like, the next best thing was when your mom would order something and it would come in like the bubble wrap. That's what it kind of reminded me of. And so that's what I thought people were there to see. But apparently it wasn't. And I just couldn't take the comments anymore. It just became one of those things that, was mentally exhausting and not fun anymore. And it was going in a different direction that I wanted my channel to be. And so I was like, if I continue on making this kind of content, people are going to continue watching this, and that's all they're going to want to watch. So I had to make the decision to just quit. And I knew that it was going to hit my channel in a very negative way because of how popular those videos were becoming. And I didn't really explain to anybody why I stopped creating those videos. I mean, I touched on it a little bit in my last Get Ready With Me, like this one, but I didn't like really go into detail about it because I wasn't sure if I was completely done with those videos or not. Even though I knew in my heart that I just wasn't ready to like really come out and tell the world or like all of my returning viewers on those videos that I was done. But the longer and longer that I stopped creating those videos, the more and more my returning viewers would ask me, hey, when are you going to make another video like that one? And I just told them straight up, I'm not making those videos anymore. And 2 of them really got mad at me. Actually, 3 of them did. 2 of them got really mad at me. 1 of them was understanding, but completely just unsubscribed to my channel. And like to this day, one of them that did unsubscribe and blew up on me and got so mad he threw like a hissy fit like a little kid. He even recently commented on one of my new videos and was like, make sure that you create a cleanup video. Make sure you make one of those for us. I'm like, there is no more us. Like, because I haven't created a video like that in almost a year. They just don't get it. Like, these people are pushers. They will push you and push you and push you. And it sucks because you're put in this position where YouTube, the algorithm is everything. Like, if YouTube feels like your algorithm has changed, they're going to stop putting your videos out there. You're always going to take a risk when you change your brand on your channel, even if you're not monetized. Your views are going to change. Your subscriber counts are going to change. And me making content for the last 4 years and haven't gotten monetized yet, it makes it even worse for me because I don't have a following that is going to support me. This eyebrow is not working with me today, like at all. I think I'm going to break out my brand new one. So anyway, that kind of leads me into my next topic, and that's like where my life has been and what has been going on and where I'm at now. I touched on the whole anxiety breakdown thing, and that's why I took a break from YouTube, because I needed to work on my mental health. I never really explained exactly what happened, but I had a complete meltdown on my birthday party because, I'm just going to say it, my best friend just disappeared on me and went home without me even knowing, and I was really hurt about it. But there was a reason why she did it, and at first, I was really pissed off at her because I was like, how could you do that? How could you just disappear on me like that without even telling me goodbye? And little did I know that she was actually going through her own thing too. We're very similar people. We've been best friends for years. I've known her since elementary school, and we've been really close since middle school. So we've been in each other's lives for a really long time, and she's been through a lot in her life, probably as much as I have or more. That's what we have in common, is that we've both survived some really deep bad stuff. And so I didn't really understand that she was going through therapy, and she was in the process of trying to improve her quality of life, and she was coming out of the biggest depression or deepest depression of her life as well. And I just didn't really know how deep of a depression she was in. And so she was trying to quit drinking because the alcohol, it's literally poison for your brain. And it isn't something that you'll know until you stop doing it. And so when she left, I completely melted down because she had been disconnecting from me for several months. It's not that she didn't want to be my friend anymore. It was just she kind of felt like every time that she came over, she didn't trust herself to not drink. And so she was disconnecting herself from me. And I felt it without even knowing what was really going on. And it's kind of like something similar to what I was going through, because I had gotten really close to a girl within like 2 years. I got real close to her. And since my best friend wasn't around, I kind of relied on her to keep me happy. I became a very negative person, and anytime I was with her, I would always just like talk about my problems. I would always like lean on her for guidance, and she didn't really have any guidance to give me. She just like listened, but she didn't have any like valuable information to give me. And I think that that's why she started to like slowly slip away, and I became not fun anymore because I didn't want to do the drinking thing anymore. I was getting bored with it. I was getting tired of it. I was getting tired of the hangovers, and because I was continuing to drink while I was in that state of mind, I was becoming a person that I didn't like, because I was angry every single time I drank and I would feel a buzz or feeling of being drunk. I was getting mad, and it was because I was mad at myself for allowing myself to get like that. And it got to a point where it was no longer fun anymore, because I was pretending to be sober up here, but my body was drunk or it was buzzed, and it was reacting different than what my brain was telling me to act. And I couldn't control it, and I hated that feeling. And so I was like, why am I just going to continue pretending to be sober if I'm just going to sit there and drink? It didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand what I was doing. So after my mental breakdown, I told my friends, hey, I'm not going to be coming around for a while, because I don't want you to see that side of me that you're not going to like. And they didn't believe me. They didn't believe that I was actually going to do it. I was in a lot of physical pain, and I had already been on a journey trying to get my thyroid levels back to normal after being on a really high dosage for a long period of time. And I did tell them in the beginning of that journey itself that a lot of changes were going to happen. I thought that I was going to just like gain a bunch of weight, but I didn't know that there was more to it than that. And they couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. They thought that I was being dramatic or I was overthinking it, but they don't know what it feels like to have an autoimmune disease that literally physically takes over your entire body. Your thyroid, I'm not going to get into all of it, but your thyroid controls everything to do with your body. It's your complete endocrine system, and it starts with your brain. So if your brain is not functioning, your body's not going to function either. It all starts up here. I just needed her to let me have the space that I needed to collect my thoughts and get back on track, because I had gained 20 pounds by binge drinking and binge eating, trying to keep myself sober by eating food, thinking that that was going to keep me sober, which it never did. It just made me full, like so full and uncomfortable with myself. Bloated, so uncomfortably bloated for weeks. I'd be bloated, and it would take forever for that water retention to go away. After one night of drinking, it takes me an entire month for that swelling, water retention, inflammation. It takes an entire month for it to go away. It takes an entire menstrual cycle for all of that to be flushed out. So it's better for me to just not drink at all. So when I got to a steady mental state where I was comfortable enough to go back to my friendships, I told him it's not going to be the same. Like, I'm not going to be that person anymore. Something else happened after that, like months later, and it was just like the cherry on top, which made me decide to just like give up on the friendship altogether. And it sucks because I don't really genuinely give up on people. But the one thing that I learned while being on this mental health journey is that you have to stop trying to please everyone, and you need to please yourself. You know, like that's the only way you're going to make yourself happy. So it just became one of those things where I realized that they only had fun with me when it required drinking. And I don't mind doing the party thing once in a while, but I feel like there has to be an occasion for it. Like, I don't need to do it every single weekend. And even now, because I haven't even had a drink since New Year's Eve, I've really been in tuning with myself and with my spirituality. And I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou and that I go to church, because I don't. But I feel like I've gotten stronger with my relationship with God, and I've asked for forgiveness for all the things that I've done. And that's one of the things that I had to come to terms with too, is that I'm 40, going on 42. Like, I've been partying since the age of 20 to the age of 42 or 41. And at some point, the partying has to end. Like, it's so deteriorating on your health. It is so, so bad. And I'm starting to physically feel the repercussions that I'm going to suffer for the rest of my life trying to stay youthful for as long as I can. Did that make sense? Should I repeat that? Like, or should I reword that? Like, I'm going to suffer the consequences that I did to myself these last 20 years by drinking myself away on the weekends just to try to keep as much of my youth that I have left. Take that however you want to take it. But that's something that this friend of mine in particular couldn't come to terms with. She didn't want to accept the fact that I was doing something right for myself, for my health, and that I was literally trying to not leave the friendship, but like take a break from that lifestyle to better myself so that I wouldn't lose her friendship, and yet it did anyway. And in the process of that, I lost my other best friend. And that's a whole different story that I won't get into, because I do hope that one day we can reconcile, because this girl means a lot to me. She's been a part of my life for over 11, 12 years now. She's pretty much known my kids since they were very little. And my two younger ones, she's pretty much known them since they were born. And she's said some really mean things to me in the past that has me questioning myself to her. And that's part of the reason why I had to let her go, which really, really sucked, because I really care about her. But there's just some things that you just can't let go of and can't forget. And when you are drunk and you're in that mindset of like forgetting, you don't remember those things until you're completely sober. She had taken videos of me while I was drunk, and I didn't recognize that person. And I was mad at her for taking those videos at the time. Like, I was really mad because she did post them on her Snapchat. I'm glad that I did get to see them, but I just wish that she would have showed them to me in private. Because now that I know that I can get to that point, I know now that I no longer want to get to that point again. I don't want people to see me like that. Because even though I was drunk, doesn't mean everybody else in the room doesn't remember those moments. So that in itself was kind of like a wake-up call to me. And my best friend that I've known practically my entire life had told me when I finally decided that I was going to make things right and I was going to get sober, she told me, Shell, you have been wanting to do this for years. She's like, I noticed it in you when you started lugging around your water bottle and drinking a shit ton of liquid IV while you were getting drunk. She was right. I like I said earlier, I had been trying so hard to stay sober in my mind, but my body was drunk. And I hated that feeling. I got so tired of looking at myself in the mirror and not recognizing who was looking back at me. So what is the point of this video? What is the point of all that said? Well, for one, I hope that my story helped you in case you're going through something similar. And number two, it just kind of gives you guys like a background of what my life looks like now. Like, I feel so much better than I ever have. I mean, I still have issues enunciating words, but I think that that's something that I'm going to struggle with for the rest of my life. I don't think that's ever going to change. And I know that I still have mind gaps or brain gaps where I skip words. I hear them in my mind, but when I speak them, they're missing. There's gaps missing. And that could just be from drinking alcohol for the last 20 years. But as far as like my channel goes, it got to the point where I had to come to terms with that if I'm going to post, it has to be for me. It has to be something that I just enjoy doing as a hobby, and not because I expect to get monetized or expect to go anywhere with it. These are some of the things that I wish I would have known prior to creating content. Because, like, at first I would get super discouraged if my channel wasn't working out and I wasn't getting the views. And let me tell you, I was almost there. When I was doing balloon popping content, I needed 500 more hours. I had already had all of my subscribers. I had 3,500 watched hours. I was almost there. But then what happened was, and it's not because I just stopped making content, I would shut the comments off, but that wasn't enough. People would then turn onto my regular videos and they would comment stupid shit on those videos relating to the balloon popping content because I turned those comments off. So then I was like, fine, I'll just put them on private. But then what ended up happening is that YouTube took all of my watched hours away on those videos. That's something that they don't tell you in the beginning. Yeah, you need 4,000 watched hours in one what is that word I'm looking for? Not consistent, but consecutive. Like you have to have 4,000 watched hours in one consecutive year. And I do believe that it's by day by day. Today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Today is February 14th. So today, watched hours is going to be in concurrent with February 14th of last year. So each day that goes by, your watched hours are following you. But anything that was like in the middle of that, all of those videos that I put on private, all of those watched hours, all that work that I put in, all those views that I got was taken away from me because I put them on private. All because I don't want to do those videos anymore. So now it got to the point where I like made the thumbnail like a blank thumbnail and I put a very vague description like content I don't create anymore or just a simple period. People are still going back to watch those. And I'm wondering if it's because either YouTube is pushing that video out because there's so many watched hours and watched or views on that video, or if it's returning viewers that are hoping to rewatch that video. I am not really sure, but people are still watching it even though there's nothing to appeal to it. So the whole thing where your thumbnails and your titles is what makes or breaks your channel, I call BS on that. And I just do. So then I found out that you can go to your settings and you could switch it so that where YouTube can only share or put out content from the last year. So now, instead of them pushing out my current content, they're still pushing out old content from like that beginning of last year. And I'm just like, God, where were you guys when I was doing that content then? Like all my baking videos, nobody seemed interested in those until now. In ending, because I don't think I have time to do my hair in this video. With all of that said, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, go into it knowing that you probably won't make it. And you have to create content that you want to watch or what you like, makes you happy, because you're never going to be able to make everybody happy. There's always going to be someone that is going to get mad at you for not creating the content that you want. And there'll even be a lot of people who will comment on your videos and then you'll never see them again. So you might as well just make the content that you want to and just kind of use it as like a diary to look back on in the future. I create content so that my mom can see what we're up to because she lives so far away that she doesn't get to see her grandkids very often. So this is a way for her and my sister to see their grandkids and their nieces and nephews without actually physically seeing them. And then also because my kids enjoy watching my videos. They think I'm a superstar. We were literally going through Dollar Tree, and as we were going through Dollar Tree, this little girl saw me videotaping and she was like, "You create YouTube videos?" And I was like, my daughter and I were like, "Yeah." And she's like, "That's so cool." And I was like, little does she know that I'm not even, like I'm nobody. I'm just like this itty bitty little tiny content creator that just creates videos just for myself. But it just like for 1 second, I felt like a star. And that's how I feel every time my kids come out and goes, "Mom, I watched your video today. I didn't know that you did that today. Wow." Like they love it. So I live my life on YouTube for my family, for my kids. And I also enjoy once in a while those people who watch my videos that enjoy them too. And like I'll bust my ass trying to make it appealing to the YouTube world, but I don't think I have to. You either resonate with me, you like my content, or you don't. Who's watching your videos? For all you know, it could be children. A lot of parents let their kids have YouTube accounts. My kids have a YouTube account, but it's restricted. But a lot of parents don't really restrict their kids. So a lot of people that are watching your channel or watching your videos, they could just be kids and they might like one of your videos and the next time they're like, "Ugh, this one's not like it was the last time I watched your video. Ugh, I'm unsubscribing." That's how people are. And it just makes me wonder, like, how old are you? And that's why I had to stop like arguing with people in the comment section when they say something mean to me, because it's like, am I arguing with a child? But there's really no point to it. It just, people like to go onto your channel just to fight with you, just to argue with you. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to thank you guys. If you guys made it to the end of the video and you guys, you know, enjoyed something that I said, or maybe it clicked or resonated with you, I'm not even going to ask you to like or share, and I don't even really expect you to subscribe either, because chances of me making another video like this one is probably few and far in between. But that is it for today. Look out for videos that I have coming up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.